Hope you're doing well. My name is Matthew. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're new here, then welcome to my channel. And if you're not, then thanks for coming back. So for today's video, I'm going to be ranking every single Lana Del Rey album. This is going to be tough. But I think I'll be able to do it. So if you didn't see my last video, I ranked every single Lana Del Rey song from her Born to Die album all the way to her most recent singles from her Blue Banisters upcoming album. But if you want to check it out, then I'll probably put it somewhere above or link it down below. If that's something that interests you, then yeah, go check it out. And also, thank you so much for all of the support on that video. Completely unexpected. I mean, the video's almost at 3,000 views and it's only been up for a couple weeks, which doesn't happen very often. So thank you for everyone who's commented, who's liked it. It's been great. This idea of ranking her albums actually came from a comment on that last video. It came from the user Sean Medlock. Thank you for watching the video and for suggesting this idea. And I thought, why not do it? So like I said at the beginning of my last video, I love watching people react to new artists, but because I've been a fan of hers since 2012, I can't react to her for the first time. So I'm taking sort of my knowledge and my lived-in experience with these songs and creating the best ranking possible. But honestly, if my ranking is anything like yours, comment below, and if it's completely different, comment below. As I mentioned, I am a huge Lana Del Rey fan, and I actually have a TikTok account, Matt_Rossi99, which I will link below, where I've recently done a few covers of her songs, and I also recently made a conspiracy video on how I think that all of Lana Del Rey's albums are connected, which some people seem to really enjoy. So if that's something that you'd be interested in, then I will link that down below and you can check it out. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. Again, the support from the last video means so much to me, and I hope that you enjoy this one. So let's get started. Alright, so I wrote everything down, a little list. And what I wanted to do with this ranking is a little bit different. I wanted to rank, of course, her albums, but then with each album I'm going to also say what my 3 favorite songs are from that album, and also what my favorite music video is from that album as well. So first on the list we have Lana Del Rey, aka Lizzie Grant. Now if you watched my ranking video where I ranked all of her songs, I didn't include that album on the list, but because I'm doing her albums in this video, I wanted to include it just because it is still one of her albums. I just don't listen to this one that much. It doesn't really connect with me, and I've tried. And it's interesting because I like a lot of her unreleased songs that are kind of from the same period, but for some reason this album just never really stuck with me. But my top 3 favorite songs are Pawn Shop Blues, Oh Say Can You See, and Yayo. I like this version of Yayo even more than the version of Paradise. The one of Paradise I feel like is kind of like washed out a little bit, whereas this one just feels a lot more intimate, and I think that serves the lyrics of the song even better. So I just want to apologize that my energy is so low in this video. I think I'm just like, it was really hot today, and I was kind of tired, but there's going to be points when I just won't be able to put sentences together. So that's fun. So enjoy that. Enjoy trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. And yeah, it just gets worse from here. So thanks for watching. I don't think there's any music videos. Are there music videos from this album? I don't think there are. I think I would know. Now on to number 7. Paradise. Now, this album, it's interesting because it has a few, like, 2 of my favorites, I can't talk today. I'm so sorry. There's 2 songs on this album that I really love. And one of them is one of my favorite Lana Del Rey songs. But for some reason the album, like the project itself, I don't go back to it as much as I do some of the other albums on this list. My top 3 songs from this album are Ride, American, and Body Electric. My favorite music video, which is one of my favorite Lana Del Rey music videos, is from this album. It's Ride. That music video is chef's kiss. Amazing, amazing, amazing. And I feel like that's sort of collectively in like the Lana fan base one of our favorite music videos for good reason. I mean, that monologue is like, was probably, I think, everywhere on Tumblr back in when was this, 2012, 2013? Yeah, so, but rightfully so. Rightfully so. Alright, so, next one. There's definitely 2 albums where I rank them that I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for it. And I'm willing to take the heat. And honestly, this ranking changes so much that like, just because I'm saying how it is in this video doesn't mean that it's going to stay the exact same way in a month from now, in a year from now. It changes, especially because she releases music so frequently. This ranking changes with every album that she puts out. So the next album, coming at number 6, it's her most recent album, Chemtrails Over the Country Club.
Goodbye.
Can you just sit?
Can you just look at me? I'm gonna tell you one thing.
I'm being honest, like I'm trying
It's
to...
okay. Be honest all you want.
Oh my God.
But I just don't want anything to do with you ever again in my entire life.
Let's talk. Let's talk about it. Okay? So, I think this album is very divided. I think there's people that really love it, and then there's people that really don't like it. I'm like indecisive, and I think that's almost worse than loving it or hating it. Like, I think being indecisive or kind of feeling like about half the album is worse than hating half the album. I think from tracks 1 to 7 or 1 to 8 are like very, very good and very smooth, and then I feel like after that it's either after Dark But Just a Game or Not All of Those Who Wander Are Lost. One of those two, whichever one comes after the other one. I feel like then it's just kind of like, it kind of drags a little bit. I think I know where she wanted to go with the album, and lyrically I think it's beautiful, but production wise, like I said in my ranking video of all of her songs, I feel like there's something missing from a lot of these songs and that they could have done so much more with them. And I think it was an interview that Jack Antonoff did. He was saying that like she just kept wanting to strip it back, or maybe she said it, I can't remember. Because they really wanted to just keep it as simple as possible to get the message of the song, which I think is great, but I think that because we had NFR, which was her most stripped back album, I think I wanted a little bit of a switch up, just a little bit. So my top 3 songs from Chemtrails Over the Country Club is White Dress, Chemtrails Over the Country Club, and Dark But Just a Game. Like I said, these I think are some of her best songs, but it doesn't, unfortunately it's not enough to carry the whole album, in my opinion. This is also her most recent album, so maybe too, like I don't have enough time with it. I haven't lived it, I haven't experienced it, I haven't related it to certain things in my life, whereas the other albums I have. That might be what I need, and I'm sure this will move up or change of position with another album at some point in the future. My favorite music video from Chemtrails Over the Country Club is, of course, the Chemtrails Over the Country Club video, which has become, I think, my top 3 Lana Del Rey videos. So, it's amazing. It's amazing. Alright, now, the next 2 albums is hard because these 2 I think interchange the most, albums 5 and 4. And it changes all the time. So coming in at number 5 is Honeymoon. I can already feel like the fucking hate coming at me. The thing with Honeymoon, okay, is that I didn't really like this album when it first came out. I didn't. I was like 15. I was like, it was slow, too slow. As I've gotten older and I've listened to it more, it is a beautiful album. Beautiful. The way the songs transition from one to the other, the vision that she has, the imagery that she paints with not only the production but the lyrics and the melodies. It is a beautiful album. I just find that it's a very long album, and so I don't go back to listening to it as much as I do with the top 4 albums, because it is a very slow album. Everyone has to admit that most of the album does kind of stay at one pace. It picks up a little bit in the middle with like High by the Beach and Freak and Art Deco, but then it slows down again. So you really have to be in the mood and in the headspace to commit. And sometimes I don't want to commit to all of that. So with that being said, my top 3 songs from this album are High by the Beach, Terrence Loves You, and God Knows I Tried. My favorite music video from Honeymoon is Music to Watch Boys 2. Alright, the album coming in at number 4 is Lust for Life. This album is, again, a very big hit or miss I'm noticing in the fandom. I guess it is a messy album. It's messy. She's all over the place, but I love her. This album to me is like that friend that is always kind of going through shit and doesn't really learn her lesson, but you're still there for them, and you're there to console them and help them through their times, but they're kind of always like calling you at 2 a.m. crying over some guy or some thing that happened in their life, and they kind of keep making the same mistakes, but you're always gonna love them. That's what Lust for Life is for me. It can be a great time, and it can also be a hard time. I just think that album came out in like the summer after my graduation, and it was like this really big transitional period in my life, and I think because I was going through such a big transition in my life, graduating and sort of figuring out what I want to do next, and then because this album seemed like a really big transition for her as well, I think I just connected to it, and I mean, there's so many songs on this album that aren't even that I didn't choose for my top 3 from the album, that are some of my favorite Lana Del Rey songs, and it didn't really make sense for me to put this album, at least currently, behind Honeymoon. My top 3 songs from Lust for Life are Love, Change, and Cherry. My favorite music video from Lust for Life is Love. Beautiful, stunning, never done before.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
Alright, so we're at the top 3. Top 3, to be honest, this hasn't changed at all really since talking to a camera is really hard. Oh god. Okay, let me... and I had like so much coffee this morning too, I should be fine. Anyways, okay, let me regroup. Okay, alright, so what I was trying to say was, before I had a fucking, I don't know what that was, these top 3 albums are all almost perfect in my eyes, and it was hard to sort of rank them within the top 3. But coming at number 3 is where my love for her all began, and that is Born to Die. Born to Die is one of my favorite albums of all time, and it would be a crime for me not to put it in my top 3 because it holds such a special place in my heart, and I think that it really did shape what pop music and alternative music is today. There's a reason why it's been on the Billboard 200 for what, 300 and... let me look it up. Born to Die has been on the Billboard 200 for 397 weeks. 397 weeks. I mean, there's a reason. there's no album like it. There's no debut album like it, and there's no album that mixed so many different genres into one. And yeah, sometimes it was a bit messy, but overall, for a debut album, it was a statement. I don't know, man, there was something that just really drew me to her music. And it was because of this album that I became a fan, so it's nostalgic for me. My top 3 songs from this album was really hard to choose, but it had to be Off to the Races, Video Games, and Born to Die. My favorite music video from this album is National Anthem. Again, anyone who saw my ranking video knows that National Anthem was the very first Lana Del Rey song that I had ever heard. It was the very first video of hers that I'd ever seen. I think when I searched her up, it was the weekend that video came out. And so when I searched up her name, that was the first thing that popped up. And so I watched it, and I was just mesmerized by her beauty, by the song, by the visuals, everything. It was something so different than I'd ever seen. And I was the kid that would always watch Much Music in the morning. For anyone that's, I don't know who is watching this video, but for anyone that's from Canada, I used to watch Much Music every single morning. And just, I loved watching the music videos that would come on. And so this video was so different than anything that I had ever seen on Much Music. So for me, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. All right, coming in at album number 2. This is the top 2 now. So by now, the people that are like Honeymoon stans and Lust for Life stans and Born to Die stans and Chemtrail stans are logging off. At this point, there's only the Ultraviolence fans and the Norman fucking Rockwell fans left. And for a good reason. Y'all are superior. That's just how it is. And so, coming in at number 2 is Ultraviolence. Ultraviolence was number 1 up until Norman fucking Rockwell came out. Once Norman fucking Rockwell came out, that took the number 1 spot. But Ultraviolence was number 1 since 2014. So that's a long time for an album to stay in the number 1 spot. Especially for me, because I feel like all the other albums can kind of be interchangeable, depending on, you know, when you listen to an album more and more, you have more lived experience with it, right? And so you tend to gravitate towards different songs depending on you know what you're going through, or sometimes there's songs that you love on first listen and there's ones you don't really like, but then the ones you don't really like become your favorites. You know how it is. But for some reason, this album has always been my number 1 album up until 2019. And I think it's just because it was so different than Born to Die. And once again, making a statement. She wasn't conforming to what people wanted her to do. You know, she wasn't doing the expected thing. The expected thing would have been to have continued to use a lot of strings, do this very cinematic album, create, you know, especially coming off of Young and Beautiful, that the smart move would have, or not the smart move, but the safe move would have been to have created an album full of Young and Beautiful, which would have been incredible. But she was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make an alternative rock fucking psychedelic album, and it's gonna be fucking amazing, and it's gonna get to number 1. And it did. My top 3 songs from this album are West Coast, Old Money, and Ultraviolence, the title track. Favorite music video from this album is West Coast, because it introduced the whole era. Now for the number 1 spot, the spot that everyone has been waiting to see, the spot that everyone skipped to see, because I'm sure you guys didn't sit through this whole video. I'm sure you went and skipped through. I don't blame you, it's long. I talk a lot. But don't say much, so it is what it is. My number 1 Lana Del Rey album is, you guessed it right, Norman fucking Rockwell. It's her best. It's her best album. The way that it flows from one song to the next, the lyrical content on it, the production suits her voice really well, and it's just a beautiful record. It's a beautiful record, and I feel like it was the perfect record for her to make. Norman fucking Rockwell to me is like that, if we're saying like how Lust for Life was like the friend that you know, is kind of a mess. You love her, but like she's drunk, like she's going out on the weekend, she's partying a little too much, she's calling you at 2 a.m. because like she's just like hooked up with her ex again, and you're just like, oh god. But you're still gonna be there for her. Norman fucking Rockwell is the friend that listens to you. You know? It's the friend that's always there. It's the reliable friend. It's the trusted friend. It's the most centered of your group, and it's always going to be there, and it's comforting. And that's what this album is. This album is a comfort album. At least for me, it is. My top 3 songs from Norman fucking Rockwell are Venice Bitch, Cinnamon Girl, and Mariner's Apartment Complex. My favorite music video from this album is the Fuck It I Love You and Greatest music video. Alright, so we have come to the very end of my ranking video. I'm sorry if it was boring. I'm a little bit awkward. I'm still getting used to this talking in front of a camera thing. I don't know. It's different, it's new. I want to make videos that people are interested in, and some people seem like they wanted to see this, so hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then hit the like button, subscribe, do all the things that, you know, other YouTubers say to do. But yeah, honestly, like, really do comment below on what your favorite albums are and how you would rank the albums, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. I love hearing other people's favorites and how they relate to these albums and why they chose that one as their favorite one or that one as their least favorite one. I think it's great what music can do, and how music can connect people, and how music can connect to certain experiences and stories in your life. I think it's an amazing thing. Another comment that I got was to do a possible ranking of her unreleased songs. So I think I'm gonna do that, but I'm not gonna do a ranking. I have another idea in mind that I think is a bit different, more fun, because she has way too many unreleased songs. Like, let's be real, she has like over 200, or at least she did. She might have even more now. Over 200 unreleased songs. That's too much. That video is gonna be too long. No one's gonna watch it. I don't want to edit it. So I have an idea that I think is a bit more fun, a bit more enjoyable, that I've started working on. So if you want to see that video, then let me know, because I think it could be kind of interesting that I haven't seen anyone do before. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If there are any other artists as well that you want me to rank, their songs or their albums, or even react to, I mean, I haven't done a reaction video yet, but we could try it and see how it goes. I don't know, I can't promise anything, but we can see how it goes. But yeah, if there's any other artists or anything, let me know in the comments below. Someone said Taylor Swift, and I mean, I've been a fan of Taylor's since Fearless, so I do know all of her music. The Swifties scare me a little bit, not gonna lie. So if I commit to that, then it'll be because some people want to see it. So yeah, let me know. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.